Good evening. I'm Frank,
I am Richie.
and this is Real Critics. We're filming in front of a live studio audience today.
About 20 chairs. 19 of them are empty. But we do have one. We have one fan in the audience.
He's the biggest fan we have.
How you doing out there?
You guys rule!
That's right. And Real Critics drool. Wait a minute. Our name of our show is Real Critics.
Yes.
I fucked that up.
I was going to say, damn, man.
Our fan likes it.
We were going to go ahead and continue our two-part review of the Twilight series. And now we're going to review parts 2, 3, and
3, 4, and 5.
3, 4, and 5 tonight.
Eclipse, Breaking Dawn, part 1 and 2.
Yes.
So we start with Eclipse.
Let's start with Eclipse. Eclipse of the heart. Total eclipse of the
That's
heart.
when the series started picking it up a notch. Started getting a little interested in it.
I'm glad you did.
They killed off the redhead.
Finally.
Yep.
And I'm sorry. I tried to get into this series as much as I could. I had hopes that it would pick up a lot more and get more into the whole vampire / werewolves / the bad vampires
Right.
from Rome.
Mm-hmm.
And really, honestly, it fell flat. I mean, it was just more Kristen Stewart looking stoned, and,
There was a lot of that.
just, if Edward was such a badass vampire, he was kind of like the hope for the Cullen family. I really didn't see it. I really didn't see anything in that movie where it shows that, they were anything special. And you know why? It's because it is partly my own opinionated fault, because I've seen so many vampire movies in the past. I mean, I even like Bram Stoker's Dracula. I know there wasn't a lot of...
We talked about this last time.
I know, but that's the thing.
You're
is like
looking at it the wrong way.
Exactly, because I wanted it to be a vampire movie.
It's
okay,
not.
I don't know. It's not,
about,
and it's never going to be. It's not going to be.
It's a love story.
It's a love story, and you know what? So was Bram Stoker's Dracula. I liked that movie.
It wasn't like this.
That was a love story.
They didn't make 5 of them.
Because you know why? Do you know
money.
why? Do you know why? Is because they knew that one was enough. This movie, the opening credits was enough. It's probably more exciting. And don't get me wrong, I understand there's a lot of fans out there who just thrive off of this, because basically they look into their lives of emptiness and find out that they're never going to find true love like this. And, it's that, bubblegum pop crap that, today's culture comes out with to try to, ignite something. And all these actors, all these, the story. I mean, like I said, it goes back to the storyline of, even if it's a love story, they can add something in there to actually pick it up. I mean, the only thing they really, bad dialogue and good, good to, somewhat okay special. I love it when they run. It's just so funny. Why do they just go ahead and put them on a treadmill and have like the Fred Flintstone effect where they, the scenery just passes by, the same thing time and time again? It's just, to me,
They spent all their money on the wolves.
yeah, I know. And believe me, the Eclipse didn't exactly, it sparked basically how they were going to have to survive. How Bella was going to be a vampire, and how she was going to bring about,
A marriage was almost inevitable, and the consequences of
doing
that. And
God, I mean, I never saw this much turmoil and freaking, Lost Boys. I mean, you know,
Stop doing that. Stop.
I can't help it, man.
Stop.
I can't help it. You know,
It's not the same movie.
I know it's not the same movie, but you know what?
It's not even close. They weren't even trying.
Interview with a Vampire was actually good.
But they weren't trying.
And Brad Pitt whined constantly about being a vampire. I want to drink blood. But it was actually good. Even
that
though
was
Tom
a good movie.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It was a good movie.
It wasn't a love story.
This is where I can't even. It's a love story, but it's just so slow.
It was slow.
It was very slow.
It was slow. But you know what?
All right, you know what?
They found a way to stretch it out and make money.
That's what I'm saying. They found a way to take the last book, because we'll go ahead and go into Breaking Dawn 1 and 2. They found a way to take one book and stretch it into two, much like they did with The Hobbit. You know, they're
Let me say this about Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Okay, go ahead.
The beginning of that movie, the first half of that movie,
Yes.
say it's probably like 2 hours long. An hour of that movie is the wedding,
fluff,
and the honeymoon.
Yeah, but that was so unnecessary to stretch that crap out
for an hour. Just that.
Yeah,
that's all it was.
That's what I'm saying.
And I honestly, I was dying. I was like, oh man.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I just want to get up. I want to get up and walk away.
Exactly. You wanted to,
but
because you were always,
you know what?
You were waiting and waiting and waiting. It's almost like you were looking at your watch, going, "Is Bella going to become a vampire anytime soon?"
The second half of it made up for it.
Okay, let's get into. We'll just
the second half.
Let's
of
go to the second
part one.
It definitely really picked up,
but it was like fast.
And it did. I mean, they showed the other vampires, and and they introduced the powers, like some of the other ones, elemental control, and some had electricity, and we find out that Bella's power was that she could, if she was immune to all the other vampire powers, and that was good, and like you said, it moved faster. Well, I mean, you really couldn't move any slower.
Right.
That was the whole thing. You couldn't move any slower than, them bringing about the battle, the final battle, and everything.
They could have made Breaking Dawn Part 1 a little better by putting some of the stuff they put in Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Yes.
Just put a little bit more of that in Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Yeah.
But the end battle...
The end battle
awesome, man.
Was great.
That was awesome.
That was great.
And
I gotta
at
say,
the whole end, it never even happened.
Well, yeah,
it was just her showing showing him, hey, you get your fucking head ripped off.
That's right.
It was a little tough.
Yeah,
it took like 4 of them to do it. But your head pops.
Yeah. And he was like, well, let's think about this for a second, guys. Let's not be too hasty.
Well, then the other part too, where Jacob imprints on the daughter.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks it's like a sexual thing.
No, it's not a sexual thing, but
well, that's what the imprint was almost supposed to be. It was almost like a love, sexual, just like me and you forever. But he saw her because his intentions were to go kill her.
Yeah.
And then Susie saw her. Boom, he imprinted on her, and now no one could touch her.
And he did put up a pretty good fight, or not even a fight, but he showed the leader of the wolf pack. He brought him down.
Oh yeah,
because
he's like, fuck you.
He was like, I am not going to let anyone touch this girl.
I'll protect the family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought that was actually.
And then when Kristen Stewart found out
that he imprinted on her.
Oh my god.
And then of course the other vampires were like, let her go, because she was beating the shit out of him.
Well, no, the only one that was like really like let her go was like Edward. He thought it was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
He was like, isn't she perfect?
Yeah. Beating up on werewolves. Yeah. Especially the one that had the hots for her.
Yeah.
But ultimately, when I saw the end of battle, and of course the Indian, kind of reminded me of that one Indian with a tear, because of all the garbage that was around. I am half human, half vampire. And they were like, really?
I drink blood and eat food. Whatever I want.
And I sleep too. So, nah.
I'm 150 years old.
And he did not.
He's a turtle. Seen Finding Nemo? He lived about 150 years old. The main guy is basically a turtle.
And you're yelling at me for bringing in Lost Boys and other vampire movies. You're gonna bring them Finding Nemo.
Oh, Finding Nemo 2 is coming out.
Yeah, I know.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. So, where we stand, I guess, upon the whole Twilight series.
Go ahead and give yours, and then I'll give mine.
No, why don't you give yours? I'll go ahead and let you.
No, I want you to go first.
No, I want you to go first. Go.
No, you don't, because you want to bash me after I'm done.
No, I don't. I'm not going to bash you at all. I'm just going to give my views on it, and then you can, go from there. Go ahead.
On the entire 5-movie series, the first one, nothing special. It was a love story. Second one, got to see some wolves, special effects, not so good special effects. Third one was better. Picked up, killed the redhead, a little more fighting. You had that new clan, the newborns, whatever, that they had to fight. The fourth one, the first half of the fourth one, I wanted to rip my hair out. Second half of the fourth one, shit started happening fast. I liked that. It was good. And then the fifth one, the main battle and all that, it was good. So overall, for a series, if we want to grade it, I'll give it a B, just a flat B.
Okay.
Do you want to go ahead?
All right. Well, unlike my associate over here, I thought number 1 was slow, senseless. I think I actually walked away with the whole, I don't even know what I watched or why I watched. I know being at a love story, but they played it out very droll. I think it had a lot of imperfections, as you didn't have any action, which once again, understand it's a love story, but there's a way to wrap everything into it. The second one, I thought with the wolves was a great introduction. I thought that was actually pretty cool. I had high hopes for, all of it. And once again, very little to do with, the wolves itself, more or less with Jacob, being in love with Bella. And not to say that, I don't want to knock the whole series, but I expected more. I sat there wanting more. And with the third one coming out, the fight with the redhead and the newborns and stuff, and I thought that was actually pretty exciting. Like, wow, man, this is really going to happen. This is the wolves have to coincide with the vampires so they can overcome the newborns, and that was actually somewhat entertaining. I won't lie, it was but that's the thing, it's like you only had little spurts here and there. Right. Built up to the end, and they had their big battle, and then of course in the fourth one, where they had the wedding and the honeymoon, and of course,
impregnation.
Edward was banging the chains off of Bella, and
he put a demon inside of her.
Put a demon inside of her.
I mean, semen. Wait a minute, they're one of the same.
And then
you're right.
And then,
there is a demon inside of me. No, that was semen.
Oh, semen. Thank you, Alan.
Thanks, Alan.
And I think when it led into the final movie, thank God, it really did pick up, because they found out that they'd have to actually prove themselves not to be a threat to the rest of the vampire community, which to me, what would make, the vampires in Rome really take control of everything, the deciding factors of who can be a vampire and who can, and they wanted Bella to become a vampire, and they said that this was the only way that they could live,
right,
or else be forever hunted. Mm-hmm. I thought that the love interest, or the imprinting from Jacob to the little girl was actually, that was a nice little twist.
Yeah, it was.
I got to say that was a nice little twist. But as far as, of course, I did like it when that vampire who ratted them out lost her head. That was
cool.
That
you know
was
what other
pretty
part I
good.
like too is when Jacob was showing Bella's father how he was a wolf.
Oh yeah.
And he's like getting undressed. He's like, put your damn clothes back on. And he goes, sometimes strange things happen. Stranger things happen every day. As he's taking all his clothes off.
You know what? And I could just see the porn industry going, man, this is going to be a great spoof right here.
Yeah, right?
Thanks for the material.
Yeah.
I really thought, of course, at the end, it being just a vision, and of course the, what were they called? The Voltaire. Thank you.
Something like that.
Audience. Found out, of course, the leader, found out that he was going to die, and he had to finally be like, whoa, wait a minute, let's think about this, guys, because nobody else saw the vision but him.
You know what? Let's go. No, we're supposed to fight. No, not today.
I'm not feeling it, I didn't drink my blood today. I'm kind of cranky.
I like my head.
I like my head on my body, But anyways, I thought that was actually pretty cool because he finally, said, we got to back off, And, of course, they, I guess, live happily ever after in that, And, I don't really think in so many ways this whole series was a success in my mind. As far as if you look at it 10 years down the road, most of these people who actually saw it are going to say, well, I think they're going to have the Backstreet Boys / New Kids on the Block effect. I actually watched it and liked that. I think
I don't know.
Because
I think
you know
it'll
what?
hang around longer than
Because
that.
you know what? I watched Lost Boys when I was a kid, and I can watch it today and still have that same feeling of this movie was just awesome.
Yeah.
This series, people are going to walk away 10 years from now and they're going to say, man, and of course this is going to give Hollywood a wonderful, wonderful excuse to reboot this whole freaking series. They'll do it.
I don't see that.
They'll do that.
No.
Why not?
They may take a totally different story or whatever. They won't call it Twilight.
Oh, no, no.
It won't be rebooted.
They'll call it Morning After. And, or, late that night. Anyways, I think they will have to do more with this. And so
what's your grade?
I'm going to give it, seriously, I'll give it a C-.
You know what?
And that was being very, very giving. I mean,
I'm actually surprised.
it's like I was feeling sorry for the dopey kid in the back who was eating glue. You know?
You know why?
I gave him a C-.
I think there's about half of the series you actually liked. Just listening to you talk.
There was more dislike than there was actually like. I wasn't trying to bash you and you sitting there saying
60-40?
I don't know, about 35 maybe.
60-40, isn't that a C? That's about a C.
That's why I say C-. Because, I mean, come on, the Breaking Dawn first one, that was total freaking fluff.
You know what they get? Well, the first half of the movie was, yes.
More than the first half.
No, the second half of the movie picked up just like the last one did.
No, I didn't really.
They get a
It's not like
fucking F- for this shit up the trees. That may have been my bad, but it worked out. Here we are.
Most people are gonna have to
I hope
take
we're
their
not,
laptops and turn them
Well,
off.
no, I hope we're not actually upside down in the video.
We're sideways.
But
That's how we like to do things.
yeah. So, anyways, if you feel free to comment on this, and
Feel free.
if you didn't like this video,
Yeah. Then.
You suck.
fuck you.